miscellaneous system improvements in progress, $750,000. So what do you think we are going to do with this? It's in progress, right? Construction in progress is my debit. I need a credit, and I'm going to put it to my accrued liabilities. Okay? Questions? Number 4, fuel consumed. We had purchased fuel up in number 2, and we put it where? Right. So if we use fuel, where do we think it's going to come from? Other current assets. Credit that, and now it becomes an expense. Good. Okay. Number 5. Miscellaneous plant additions and improvements constructed and placed in service at mid-year. $1 million. What do you think I'm going to do here? Construction in progress. Why is that a credit? Because it's done, it's been placed in service, right? Good. So I'm going to credit my construction in progress, and I'm going to debit my asset, right? My electric plant asset. Right? Good so far? Okay. Number 6. Wages and salaries paid. $4,280,000. Where do you think that goes? Cash. I'm going to pay cash. And I'm going to incur an expense. Good. Number 7, sale at par on December 31st, 2007 of 20-year 5% electric revenue bonds dated January 1st, 2008 with interest payable semi-annually $5 million. So what am I doing here? I'm debiting cash. I'm issuing bonds, right? So I'm going to debit cash for $5 million, and I'm going to credit what? Good. And I have a bonds payable account to credit. Right? Questions? Take note that the interest is paid semi-annually, so we'll probably have to come back to that. Okay? Number 8. Expenditures out of bond proceeds for construction of Clifton Steam Plant Unit Number 1. So, what happens first? I'm using part of the cash, right? Those are my bond proceeds. Remember? These are my bond proceeds. I'm using some of them. Credit to cash. And debit to construction in progress. Right? Because that's construction in progress. Okay? Number 9. Operating materials and supplies consumed for $150,000. Where did I put my supplies when I bought them? Other current assets. So now they're going to come out of other current assets. So I'm going to credit that, and I'm going to debit expense. Right? Okay? Good? Number 10. Payments received from customers, $10,500,000. How would you book that if you receive some payments from customers?
Debit cash.
And credit?
Due for the customer.
That's right. Accounts receivable. Debit cash, credit accounts receivable. Or in this case, due from customers. Means the same thing. Right? Okay? Number 11. Expenditures out of bond proceeds for construction of Clifton Steam Plant Unit Number 2. Looks a lot like number 8. Right? I'm going to credit cash, and I'm going to debit construction in progress. Right? Same thing I did up here. Different steam plant. Number 12. Warrants, which we said were what? Warrants are AP, right? Payables. Warrants drawn on city treasurer in settlement of accounts payable, $3,045,000. So I'm going to credit cash and debit accounts payable, just as you would expect. Number 13. The Clifton Steam Plant was placed in service June 30th, 2008. What do you think the entry is?
You take it out of construction progress and put it in assets.
Good. 5 million. Why 5 million? Because that's how much I spent on it. Number 8, I spent 2.8 million. Number 11, I spent 2.2 million. Now I'm taking the whole 5 million out, and I'm putting it in my asset. Right? Questions? Okay. Number 14, interest on bonds paid during the year, $500,000. What do you think my entry is? Cash. I'm going to pay cash, so credit to cash and debit to. Good. Credit to cash. Debit to interest expense. Let's see, where's my.
14. Nothing.
Oh, this one. I have an entry 15, 16, and 17 here. 15. What do I have to record in accrual accounting at the end of the year on my assets?
Depreciation.
I have to record depreciation. How do I record depreciation? I have an expense and I have a what? I have an accumulated depreciation, right? My accumulated depreciation is calculated based on the, the assets I already have, which are 50 million, right? Plus the $1 million I put in to service halfway through the year. Okay? Does that make sense? Remember up in number 5, I put part of what my improvements constructed were put into service halfway through the year. And there's a little note up on the top underneath your trial balance. It says the plant is being depreciated on the basis of 50-year composite life. So,
that's why you divide everything
I'm
by
going to take 50 million divided by 50. Then I'm going to take $1 million and divide it by 50, but then multiply it by half. Because it's half of the year. Right? My 50 million is going to get depreciated over 50 years. So 50 million divided by 50 is $1 million. So that's $1 million of this. Then I'm going to take the $1 million that I put into service during the year, this piece, right? I'm going to divide it by 50, which gives me 20,000. I'm going to multiply that by half because I put it into service at mid-year. Does that make sense?
What's the symbol between the parentheses that I can't read?
This is a plus.
That's a plus.
Yes. So I'm taking 50 million divided by 50 in parentheses plus $1 million, double parentheses, $1 million divided by 50 in parentheses times 0.5, another in parentheses. You want me to write that up here?
Please.
$50 million divided by 50 plus
That's, yeah, that's. Nate,
yes.
are these 15, 16, and 7, are they required entries, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so we should, just from going through them, we should assume that they're, these other.
You should assume that you need to do any ending entries that you would normally have to do.
Okay.
Okay, so 15 is going to be depreciation. 16 is going to be recording accrued interest, and 17 is going to be all your closing entries, right? To close your revenue and your expenses, right? Which is what you would normally do.
So it's kind of like it's combining everything that we've learned so
Yes.
far.
Correct.
This is it.
Yes, and 11.5 is doing the same thing, because then in the next, they're going to be, in the next few chapters, they're going to be combining all of the funds together in your government-wide statements.
Yay.
Yes, sir.
So we're not accumulating depreciation on the new Clifton steam plant because we just don't know how much we'll be buying?
Why on the 5 million?
Yeah.
Okay, why are you not? Why are we not accumulating depreciation on that? When does the fiscal year end?